In this short clip, I'm going to be talking about the York Film Festival and discussing 5 films, well, a bunch of films that I enjoyed and aspects of the aspects that I learned from the trip. Well, firstly, some of the films that I enjoyed the most there were 2 drama ones and 2 artist films that were my favourite. First being a drama one, which was Help Point by Andrew, I want to say Margetson, and Dust, which was one of that's like my favorite. That was amazing. By Thuros Timsbert. Sorry, they have different languages. Okay, and the 2 artist films I liked were called Call It Blue by Julia Hedinson and Manny Gets Censored, which was Grant Robinson. Well, what I enjoyed about these films were just they were so different. They were just completely different. Help Point was very artsy, very kind of old cinema to me. It's just beautiful. Dust was weird. Dust was what you can imagine drinking some weird potion and having an hallucination like that. Dust was just incredible. And then Manny Gets Censored was just absolutely hilarious. Such a good film from any good feel good movie. Like anyone can enjoy that. It'd be such a wide mass Western audience for that. What I learned from the range of films that I saw, there's so many. I learned that there's a lot more styles that are used than I realised. I always thought people kind of played it either either went completely mad and did some huge arty experimental film, or they played it really safe. I never really saw that they kind of did a mix of both because like get lost in the newbie. But definitely I learned some new styles, new topics that were about. I saw a very very good film about a lady who wants to buy a pot in a shop, and it turns out that it was a pot that her granddad had during the war and stuff, and how to go from literally how being in a flea market to how the backstory, lots of different topics that I never even thought would occur. Also, I learned that from the range of films I saw that what's popular and what isn't. Obviously films like comedy and the dramas were very, very full, but fashion was the fullest I went into, which I wouldn't necessarily think. This is a film festival. I thought people go to be inspired, not necessarily watch a short film. Which necessarily the fashion films to me I didn't like very much. I didn't understand them. I thought they were awful because you didn't even see the clothes. Some of the people were naked in it, so they weren't even wearing clothes. It was just absolutely ridiculous. But it just proves that there's so much of you don't understand. Film is such a widespread genre of everything. Like it's so hard to describe, but you're not going to enjoy all of it. What creative elements did I enjoy? Ooh, probably the use of filters. There were a lot of interesting use of bright and blue filters. A lot of yellow, especially in this film I called Fever. I think called Summer Fever. Every shot was just had a tint of yellow all over it, and I loved it. It made me feel like I was in south of France. And there was the film Call It Blue. Every shot had a tint of blue in it, which was I loved it, and I never really thought it's so hard to get every shot the same, especially from doing my lower six A level. We use filters for all of our shots, and it took hours to make them every shot the same color. So, that's one creative aspect that I have a lot of respect for because it's extremely hard to do. What did I enjoy about the narrative and concepts? Oh, probably that even though the thing that I found most impressive and most enjoyed the most was that even though the short films, those short films that maximum the beat is 25 minutes, every story was so complex and so detailed. They hadn't been lazy and they've been more clever than these Hollywood films that are an hour, 2 hours, because they've got less time to fit everything in, so they've really got to think about it, and that's definitely what I liked. What I think about the acting performances as a whole, a bit disappointed, but being a drama student, I'm always going to be a bit more critical than other people. I didn't necessarily think a lot of the actors were as good as they could be, but also a lot of the films I saw were of a different language, so I had that language barrier, so I kind of lost a bit of the connection with the story, so that could just be the acting of them. Also, a lot of the films I saw didn't necessarily have that much talking in it was just them kind of being experimental and dancing around with masks and on. Oh, a lot of the films I saw had masks on as well, so can't really comment on acting with it, only really physicality of the character, but as a whole, to be honest, I was quite disappointed by the acting of all the short films. I didn't think they were that good, but at the same time, these are these young actors are just starting out, learning their way, and short films, they don't have enough money to spend on like really amazing Hollywood actors. So yeah, this is my film. Thank you very much.